Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is an Emmy and Peabody Award-winning director, writer, and actor who you know from his work on the series Escape at Dannemora and films like Zoolander, Tropic Thunder, and the Night at the Museum franchise. A lot of hits. He serves as both executive producer and director of the second season of Severance, which returns to Apple TV Plus January 17th. Let's take a look.
For the past 5 months, we've been asking how a sadist like Harmony Cobell could take fertile root in Lumen soil, and what that says about us. We also know Miss Cobell was at your sister's home when you awoke there.
Yeah. Why was that?
We believe she developed an erotic fixation on you and had plans to pursue both you and your outie in what might be termed a throuple.
What?
Please welcome back to the show our friend Ben Stiller, everybody. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I'm so happy Severance is back.
Yeah.
I love season one, but it was a ways. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was, it's going to be about 3 years.
Now, it took 3 years to make it. There were some holdups because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
But even if it had been a year, because of how well it was received, there's obviously pressure to land the plane for the second season.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me.
Well,
I wasn't thinking about that for 3 years.
at first it occurred to you.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I mean, we made the first season in a bubble. Nobody knew what we were doing, and that had its own sort of set of, issues. But then when it came out, and thankfully there was, a core group of fans. You were one of the early adopters. Yeah. And then it was sort of like, okay, we really want to make sure these people feel like they're getting their money's worth for the second season.
The words that I think any creator of anything longs to hear, which turned up multiple times in headlines, is worth the wait. That's what everybody's saying, is that it was worth the wait.
Wow. Oh,
so that's very nice to hear, right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, because it could either be worth the wait or not worth the wait.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, you knew there had been a wait, and then it was just whether or not it was worth it or not.
And it's sort of like it's this, thing that folds in on itself because you're there making it, and you're trying to make it good, and sometimes it takes a little while to make it good.
Yeah.
And you know that the more time you take, the more good it needs to be.
Yeah.
So...
This always happened. I feel like SNL season premieres sometimes would be a little clunky.
Right.
And people would say, they had all summer to work on it. The longer they wait between episodes.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
No, it does not work like that.
Yeah, no, it was and we also had the writer's strike in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff. But I'm really excited. I'm glad that the people hung in for it, our core group of fans, and then it seems like there are new people who are aware of it, so it's really exciting.
I love Dannemora, which was a miniseries you had did.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, because Dannemora is this wonderful show, a true life story about two guys escaping prison. It's one of the filthiest shows. It's just this filthy prison. And then I was like, I love that your next project.
Prisons aren't
They're
really
but I like that
great.
this show also has a prison feel, but it is the cleanest set.
Yes.
And I feel like you were just like, my next project, I just want it to be very clean.
Yeah, I mean, it took me like a year into Severance to realize, oh, wait, this is kind of like a prison show because they're stuck down.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's fun to be able to create a world where you can kind of make up these rules and, just kind of like, it's not locked in by any specific genre. So that gives us a lot of freedom to kind of think up stuff.
You are very successful. I feel like everybody who knows a little bit about you would know that. You've made movies that have had sequels.
Right.
And yet, this is the first television show you've ever worked on that got a second season. Which is shocking to me.
Again, thank you for reminding me. I apparently, I did this show called The Ben Stiller Show on a million years ago, yeah. It was on MTV, The Ben Stiller Show, and then I did the Fox show, The Ben Stiller Show, and I finally realized I should just take my name out of the equation. You obviously don't have that problem.
No,
Seth
exactly.
Meyers,
but it is,
I mean, so many nights, I'm such a fan of yours, too.
Oh, that's
I love
very kind
the
of you.
show.
Thank you.
And so many nights, And so many nights I'm just home, switching around, and then I just get stuck watching Seth
That's
Meyers.
what I'm hearing now. I keep hearing people are getting stuck. I feel terrible.
It's a real issue.
We have to address. I'm going to talk to
maybe it's the remotes. I don't know what's going on. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm heartbroken to hear
Yeah, yeah.
that it's happening.
By the way, Anonymous Smears would be a good Transformers character. That's all I'm saying.
We were talking about second seasons.
Yeah.
In some cases, you made a pilot that then did not even get picked up to series. And now this is actually praise.
Yeah.
Because Heat Vision and Jack,
Yes.
this was a VHS tape in the
Right.
comedy community that was a huge deal. And this is early, I think maybe probably the first time any of us saw Jack Black.
Yeah,
a lot of us.
this is 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what this thing is?
Yeah. So that's
Really?
about right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a pilot that was never picked up, and it starred Jack Black as an astronaut. It was created by Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub, and he's an astronaut who flies too close to the sun. So when he comes back to Earth, his brain expands when the sun is up, and he becomes the smartest man in the world.
Yeah.
And then when the sun goes down, he's a normal human. And his friend, who was an astronaut, got melded into a motorcycle, and it's the voice of Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
And the hot sheriff is my wife, Christine Taylor,
Yeah.
who I met when we made this pilot.
Unbelievable.
26 years ago. And Ron Silver is the bad guy.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And everybody said, "Oh my God, have you ever seen Heat Vision and
Yeah,
Jack?" And
right.
so, but it was. I feel like I was watching a videotape that somebody had made of a videotape of a videotape.
Yes, yeah.
So even when I watched it, it seemed like it had been made 26 years before that.
Yeah. And the style of the show is as if it was made
Right,
like in
it
the
was like,
early 70s.
that $6 million man.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I do recommend to everybody because I feel like now it's got to be
Yeah.
on YouTube, right?
Thank you for plugging this 26-year-old project. I appreciate it.
They can still pick it up. I have a lot more questions with Ben Stiller.